Welcome to another episode of Cannabis Friends and 420 Buds. How are you doing today, Megan?
Al, I'm doing great, and I'm very excited. Today we're sharing FECO success stories. Now, just everyone that's watching, Al has put together some very recent success stories from our community that he wanted to share. And while he goes through them, I might have a couple questions of my own that will also help those that are watching that may have certain conditions that these relate to. Al, you ready?
Yep. Yeah, just let me share my screen.
All right.
Awesome. Can you see that?
Yes.
Very good. Yeah, so these are recent success stories, and there are just a number of them that have been sent in, and I wanted to go over them because they were super cool. This one's from at TRITR-GK8BO. For anyone with degenerative discs or any kind of chronic pain, well, this medicine took it all away within 4 hours.
4 hours. That's crazy.
So,
Al, what is degenerative discs?
okay, degenerative discs. And I actually have a spine over here, and this is a spine I had when I went to chiropractic school, actually. And the discs are what's in between each of the vertebrae, right? And they're like sort of cushions, like shock absorbers, and and certain people that this they'll sort of flatten out, and this basically degenerate over time. So the space becomes minimized, and then you got like a bone on bone kind of grinding going on, and it becomes very painful. Sometimes it's just that it's gone, but sometimes it's just a lack of fluid, and things like that. There's different causes for that. But the cool thing is that Rick Simpson Oil, full extract cannabis oil, is super successful with chronic pain and with degenerative discs because it's almost like this grinding that you feel, and then that goes away. And I think it's because the discs were just depleted of fluids, and it helps to bring the fluids back in and plumb up the discs again. And because it literally that grinding goes away, and it goes away quickly.
What product would it be? THC, CBD is needed for this situation.
Um, for a situation like this, either one can do well, but the high THC version gets you high. The CBD actually is better for pain, and what I would recommend is the high CBD FECO. Yep,
Awesome.
and
And
good job for this.
yeah,
Like taking
try
action.
TR. Yeah, handled it. Well done. All right, now what is our next success story?
Okay, our next success story is from at Georgia Grow Guy, and he's very active in our community, and he has an awesome success story. Says, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had spread to my liver. That is a death sentence. I started taking 750 to 1,000 milligrams of THC FECO 5 days a week. The 3 tumors in my liver are now just scar tissue, and the cancer in my colon is now gone as well.
Al, how close to death is stage 4 cancer?
So stage 4, there's a stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Beyond 4 is death. So you're pretty much close to death at that point. And unfortunately, that's when most people with cancer will come to RSO. Like they very rarely at stage 1 will they go, hey, I'm going to cop on some RSO, that would be the most optimal time. For some reason, people wait, and a lot of them are like they're sent home, and they're saying we can't do anything for you anymore. We have to take them off the medication, so they start this kind of a protocol, the Rick Simpson oil protocol, and it went from his colon to his liver, so it spread. Colon cancer in and of itself is fatal. It's not a good prognosis. Even with any kind of allopathic treatment, like chemotherapy or radiation, etc. And you get a colostomy bag, and you become impotent. So it's not a good way to go allopathic treatment. And then when it spreads, then you're pretty much done for. And when it goes to your liver, like your liver is your body's filter. If that's compromised, then you're just going to be a goner very soon. So the fact that he was able to overcome it is super awesome, and is a great testament to the power of full extract cannabis oil or Rick Simpson oil. And like literally, scar tissue in his liver, the 3 tumors are now scar tissue, and the colon cancer is gone. Like it doesn't register on in any kind of scans anymore. So that's super awesome.
Al, what product do you recommend for this condition?
Okay, so this is cancer and hardcore cancer and stage 4 cancer. Okay, so you're going to be definitely be doing upwards of that gram a day. So 750 to 1,000, it was probably that range because some days he would probably forget a dose. He was probably doing 250, 250, 250, and 4 doses a day, and some days he only got 3 in. So that's why it's 750 to 1,000. That's why I say it's important to get all doses in. Throughout the day. But you would definitely do that quantity. And I've seen success with people taking just the THC Rick Simpson oil, just the CBD Rick Simpson oil. But my favorite way to do it is to have both the high CBD version during the day because you can still function, and if you're working or you have to think at all whatever during the day, then you'll be able to do that doing the high CBD version, and then you do the high THC version at night, and you do like 500 milligrams, 500 milligrams, or 600 and 400 is probably the most common way that people do it. And that's a very common way for people to attack it, because they're able to do the full amount of product that way. Like when you just do the THC, sometimes people don't get to that full 1,000 milligrams because they just get too high. And doing 500 or 600 milligrams of the high CBD version, you do not get high with that. So you do 400 or 500 on the back end, towards the evening when you're going to be asleep anyways, and it makes it doable to get that full dose in and be able to overcome a situation like this. So it's super, super awesome. And congratulations, Georgia Grow Guy.
Georgia Grow Guy handled it. Excellent job. All right, Al, our next success story is?
Okay, our next success story is from @GeorgeEdward602. He says, I have arthritis and trouble sleeping and get about 3 doses out of a gram for comfort or relief from pain.
Very interesting. Does arthritis cause trouble sleeping? I think about it during the day when you're trying to be on the computer and the pain that you get, but does it affect sleep?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The pain and the pain from arthritis is one of the big reasons that people have trouble sleeping. So what we found is that most people don't have trouble going to sleep, like getting to sleep. They have trouble staying asleep. And I hear that all the time. Over the decades of being a health practitioner, and what CBD and the full extract cannabis oil, Rick Simpson oil, what it does is it helps to relieve the pain from the arthritis, the inflammation, and the pain. So when you're sleeping, like if you have a knee arthritis or shoulder or something like that, if you roll over and you hit your shoulder, you'll get some pain, and then that'll wake you up. That you don't know that's why you woke up, because you're just awake now. But that's usually why. So if you take the CBD or the Rick Simpson oil during the evening, before bed, then it'll help to relieve that pain. So when you roll over or whatever, you don't wince and you don't wake up. It helps you to stay asleep that way. And then
So
also
RSO helps.
the things that it's the top 3 things that CBD is known for is to help with sleep, pain, and anxiety. It's an acronym, SPA: sleep, pain, and anxiety.
Perfect. I was going to ask if it helps with sleeping and arthritis combined. So yes. And then what product do you recommend for this condition?
So you would think that it would be the high THC version because of the sleep part, but I would definitely recommend the high CBD FECO for this, for sure.
Really?
Because it helps the best with pain relief, better than the high THC version. And then, like I said, it also helps people to stay asleep. The THC helps people to get to sleep, but the high CBD helps people to stay asleep. And that's what we found over the years, and that's what I would recommend. And good job, George Edward.
Excellent work, George. All right. Our next success story is?
Okay, our next success story is from @Vision10345. Says, this is my favorite. I make 100 grams at a time. Funny, it does either slap you or it's mild from day to day. I'm a gram a day, unfortunately, because of tolerance. Great video. I feel like I get more high with a fatty, low-carb meal. Enjoy all. This is my life. RSO forever. So @Vision10345 is a RSO warrior, right?
Yeah. What Al, what does he mean by, is he taking CBD RSO or THC RSO?
So he's taking the THC RSO for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. And what does he mean by it either slaps you or it's mild from day to day?
So that's how you know he's taking the THC version, because the THC version is psychoactive. The high CBD version is zero psychoactivity, right? So what he means by slap you is that it gets him super, super high. on one
Yeah.
day, and then on other days it's mild. And he takes the same dose every day. So it's just like body chemistry, and like he says, like it might be what you ate that day. Like a high fat meal, or as low carbs. Might make it more psychoactive, because it's an oil itself too, and it's a fat. So that kind of a thing.
What does he mean by a gram a day, unfortunately, because of tolerance?
Okay, so he's what we call like an outlier. Just like me, I'm an outlier. I need more than the average bear to maintain the results. So he's overcome a situation, that was pretty hardcore, and then to maintain those results, he continues to take it, which is what you should do. But he has to take a gram a day, 1,000 milligrams a day, because he has this tolerance to it. And if he takes less than that, then he'll feel his condition come back, and like it comes back very slow and things like that, but you could feel it, coming back like that. So, but the 1,000 milligrams, it stays away. So that's his sweet spot, and it's that's could be pricey, to do for the long haul, but to him, it's worth spending that extra money to not have his condition and to live, number one, and then to be pain free, number two. So congratulations at Vision 10345.
Hold that vision. Love it. All right, Al, what is our next success story?
Okay, our next success story is from at Mindy Hansen 3273. So she says, I make RSO, made suppositories with RSO and CBD, and I would always administer it to my dog via suppository because I've heard that they could not tolerate it by ingesting it orally. Any lumps, bumps, anything like that went away. You could see the difference after the first day of administering it by suppository. She lived a long, happy, healthy life of 17 years, and I treated her probably about 4 different times throughout her life as she got older. From age 10 to 17 were the years that we started seeing bigger nodules under her skin and all over her body, and they would completely go away anytime we would do the RSO suppositories. It was pretty amazing, and she never had any side effects at all. So
Wow,
super awesome.
that's amazing. What does she mean by her dog not being able to ingest RSO orally?
So what she means by that is she's using the high THC version. That's why she also added in some regular CBD in there to minimize the high as well, because like pure crystalline CBD helps to minimize the high of the high THC RSO. So, but animals, they are very sensitive to THC, and it's sort of sad when you see them on the high THC all by itself, taken orally, because they can't even walk, and it's just like, they're not trying to get high, and they could even hurt themselves, especially if they have an injury or something. So it's not cool, and that's why the high CBD version is so awesome, because it doesn't have any psychoactivity, and it helps greatly with humans, but it helps greatly with animals even more so. They respond to it better at very small amounts. It's super awesome.
So I was going to ask you, what product do you recommend for pets?
The high, either pure crystalline CBD, our pure crystalline CBD. Other ones don't work for some reason, but ours does. You can go to the website and see just a ton of like literal testimonials with pictures and everything of pets, on the pet CBD pages, and or the high CBD FECO, if the dog is like next near death, like that has like hardcore cancer and stuff like that, you might want to do the high CBD FECO. But either one is good, and we have tons of animals that are on both.
Yes. What are the RSO benefits for pets? And that's not just dogs, cats, all of the above.
Yeah, pretty much any mammal, any humans or animals that have a spine, has an endocannabinoid system that needs to be fed with cannabinoids in order for them to operate at the utmost optimal levels, right? So that being said, like the animals, that they do very, very well, like for the typical things like anxiety and stress, and like during 4th of July, New Year's, the loud bangs and car rides and different things like that. It'll help them with that kind of stuff, to be more calm. Social anxiety, like dogs that are like a menace at the dog park. A lot of times they'll be a lot more calm when they take CBD, and they're interacting with other animals. And then pain, like especially like hip pain, A lot of bigger dogs have ACL, like knee problems and stuff like that. Helps a lot with that kind of stuff. And then what Mindy was helping her dog out with with cancer, and then and also like benign tumors that are just growths and things that happen, but that don't have cancerous cells in them, but they still cause problems. It'll help with all that kind of stuff. So similar to humans, basically,
Yeah.
but they're the dosages are way more minuscule, and the success is had like really quickly.
Excellent work, Mindy. Way to take care of your
Awesome.
fur
Yeah, good
baby.
job.
All right, our next success story is
Okay, our next success story is from at Graham Bird 1570. It says, "He who hesitates is lost. Just take this advice for any cancer. It works, even with other medications." So this guy is what you call a true believer.
yeah. Yes, agreed. I did want to ask though, what does he mean by even works with other medications like chemotherapy or
Yeah, for sure, for
what?
sure. So he's not just talking about like, hey, I take it with other herbs and other
Right.
holistic things. It can work with other allopathic medications and any other kind of thing. Like what I like to say is it'll help you survive the therapies you're getting from your doctor. So if you're
Mhm.
going through chemotherapy or radiation, you definitely want to take the Rick Simpson oil or full extract cannabis oil because it'll help you live through that. Remember that chemotherapy has anywhere from a 1 to 3% success rate. So if you think about that, you line up 100 people and tell them, okay, we're going to put you on chemotherapy. There's a 1 to 3% success rate. So that means 97 to 99 of you are going to be dead soon, and 1 to 3 of you are going to live out of the 100. And that's crazy that somebody would actually do that. But a lot of people will voluntarily do that, and the Rick Simpson oil definitely helps you to survive through that. We see it all the time. It's super awesome.
Love it, Graham.
Yeah,
Well
and
done.
one of the things that I want to mention too is that those first 4 words that or 5 words that he has up in there, he who hesitates is lost. That's super important because so many people, we always mention this, that people wait until the last minute to take the RSO. Wait till they're at stage 4 cancer. You really hear people like at stage 1 or stage 2 say, "Hey, I just found out I have cancer. I want to hop on this and just take care of it as soon as possible." Like they wait, they run like, well, should I take it? And they hem and haw. They'll hop on the regular medications, the allopathic treatments that their doctor recommends, like right away. They'll go in for that. Like we need you to go in tomorrow. Like okay, I'm there, but they'll hem and haw, over whether they should do the Rick Simpson oil, and then they'll wait till they have like 2 months to live, and by that time it could be too late. It'll just have them be comfortable as they go on to the other side basically and die.
Right.
So he who hesitates is lost, and it works even with other medications. So good job at Graham Bird. You're a true RSO warrior.
Our next success story is
Okay, our next success story is from at Michelle Arnold 655, and she says, "Government doesn't want you to have it because the big pharmas won't make their money. I use RSO oil and I get the sativa. Makes me happy, and I'm not killing myself with opioids." So good job, Michelle.
excellent job. What conditions does sativa RSO help?
Okay, so the indica strains are the ones that you most commonly use to overcome conditions, you know, but because it's sedative and that's where healing happens. The sativa RSOs that they're used a lot for things that have like anxiety and stress, those kinds of conditions, and then also for maintenance for people that get used to the high and stuff like that. The sativa high is a little bit more for like creative, and people like will get like really into like if they make things, or they're artists or musicians or
Yeah.
things like that, they'll really get into their craft and just get better at it, and that's sort of like why people like the sativa.
She makes a really good point, noting that she's not killing herself with opiates, which we all know are addictive. But can RSO be addictive?
Okay, so she says it makes her happy, and then people when they hear that they say, "Well, hey, is the RSO addictive?" And especially drug addicts and people that are going through rehab or that have gone through rehab and want to stay off of drugs, they get worried that the high THC version, will get them not only high but addicted to the high, and then they'll start craving that, and then they'll make them go backwards into the other drugs that they were doing, that are more hardcore, right? Which is, a valid concern. And we've worked with rehab centers, drug rehab centers over the years, and you know this because you interviewed one of them, and that was a big concern of them, and they came to me because they were friends, and they said, hey, we started this to help people, and they're, Christian preacher and wife, and they started to help people, and that regular allopathic medications, the big pharma medications, they were not helping, and people were actually getting addicted to those, right? So they reached out to me because they saw the success we were having, and I had just at that point, was right around 2017 or so, I had just created the high CBD version that does not get you high, and we tried it out on them, and we tried it out on like 40 of the people that went through the rehab program, and they had two different ones: the ones where they come in hot, where they are high, just like straight from the church or whatever. They came in the church. Churches from all over would send them to this one place over in San Clemente, California, and then they had after one for afterwards. So they had the for where they integrate back into society. So we had people that were coming in hot, coming in, that were still on drugs, basically high, and we would put them. They would go on this one medication that is super super addictive, but and they usually have them do it for a month. We figured out where they were on it for 5 days. I forget the name of it, but they're on it for 5 days, and then they're usually have nothing to look forward to, and that's when they get problems and relapse. But we gave them this high CBD version, and and it helped them to stay off, because they were on something else, but it didn't get them high, and it's not addictive, but they were taking something. It's a supplement, and what we told them too, or what I told them, because they let me talk with them, with the patients, or that were at the clinic, just by themselves without any doctors or caregivers there, and I literally told them, like, look, like you went to drugs, a lot of people, mainly because they felt like something was missing in their life. They felt emptiness, and something was. You have an endocannabinoid system that needs to be fed with cannabinoids. That's missing from your life, and you're out of balance. You're out of whack with that. And you're going to be searching for something until you find it. This is it. This is your missing link. This is what you've been searching for your whole life. And they were like, oh my God. And then they started taking it, and they weren't worried about it being some addictive thing. They understood that they needed it, and this was their thing. And we still have to this day people from those first 40 people that still take it to this day because of that, because they're true believers, and they were able to come off their drugs and stay off them when they were just in and out of rehab centers before. It's so awesome. So it's a really awesome success story here, even if she wasn't, because like she was obviously, if she wasn't, if she didn't get addicted to opioids, she was worried about it, and we didn't want to be on them, and was smart enough to figure out how to make her own RSO, and take the strain that worked well for her, and to be able to stave off of the opioids, and take back control of her life. I like to say, being in the driver's seat of your life. So good job, Michelle.
Excellent work, Michelle. All right, what is our next success story, Al?
Okay, our next success story is from @MK-IH6WP. It says, I've been using RSO vaginal suppositories for menstrual cramps. Also take it up the bum when I need to function throughout the day. And if I need a good night of sleep, I take it by mouth after dinner. Wake up feeling rested. So awesome. It's awesome if you figured all that out.
Absolutely. And just noted on my end, the RSO for menstrual cramps, like, I agree, but we don't talk about it enough. What exactly does the RSO do for menstrual cramps, and does it also help with endometriosis?
Okay, so to answer the second part of that, it helps with endometriosis. It helps with menstrual cramps and endometriosis. We have one of our earliest success stories was a woman with endometriosis. She was a cannabis caregiver, and it would take her out from time to time where they had to call the emergency and stuff like that. And just our pure crystalline CBD was able to help her to overcome. She figured out a dosage, which wasn't very much either. It was just around 50 milligrams would help her overcome it. It was super awesome. So yes, it can help with that for sure. But the way that it helps is there's a lot of pain involved with it basically, and it helps to take away that pain and discomfort. So you could, I mean, literally like feeling pain, and then when you move around too, it hurts. It's like it helps to take both of those kinds of pains away. And so taking the high THC RSO, you can get high throughout the day, and people have to work, etc. And and having to do vaginal suppositories. That's a way that you could take it, and you don't get as high. You still get a little bit high, but you don't get as high. But some women, that's like a little bit of a pain in the butt, or whatever, to be able to do that. And but women have had much success doing just the high CBD version of the FECO, or just the pure crystalline CBD, as opposed to the RSO for these situations, and taking it orally with success. And then there's a ton of women that around that time of the month, that they'll use our rolling relief, which is our topical, and they'll put it in that little space, between your pubic bone and your belly button, right around in there, and they'll just rub it around there. It's a roller ball, so they just put it around there, and it helps to relieve the menstrual cramps.
What's the benefit of the various different ways that she takes it?
Okay, so she takes the different ways, like the vaginal suppositories is obviously for like things like menstrual cramps. It can also be for the endometriosis. As mentioned, there's other ways to do it as well to have success, even with doing it topically. And then taking it up the bum, she does that so she could have the beneficial effects, just the overall body effects of the RSO throughout the day, but without getting high, because just like the vaginal suppositories, it greatly minimizes the psychoactive effects of the RSO, the high THC version, by doing it rectally through suppository. You still can get a little bit high, just so you know, it doesn't just take it away completely, but it greatly minimizes it. And then she does it orally at night, because the psychoactive effect probably might help her get to sleep, or just even psychologically, if it doesn't like through a physical chemical thing inside your body, just psychologically, I'm feeling high, that means it's time to sleep. That could help with that. And then she wakes up feeling rested because she had the good night's sleep. That being said, though,
Yes.
there is another way around all that, but just by taking the high CBD FECO, right? You take the high CBD FECO, you could do it. A lot of women have luck with it orally, but you can do it with vaginal suppositories, and you can do that. That's what our the rollerball is. It's actually 3 different CBDs. It's the high CBD FECO, our high CBD FECO made into a distillate, and then our high CBD FECO made into an isolate. That's why our isolates and distillates work better than others, is because they're derived from our high CBD FECO, which is the best stuff on the planet. So but if you do it that way, you do the topical for the menstrual cramps, endometriosis, and then to function during the day, but not be in any kind of pain. And then also just as a side note, the high CBD FECO and the pure crystalline CBD, they don't have any psychoactive effects. On the other side of that, they increase your clarity, your mental recall, your short-term memory, and they reduce things like anxiety, stress, depression, and panic attacks. So awesome for during the day, especially if you have a job where you interact with people through customer service or sales or anything like that. And like I said, like the high CBD FECO, and the pure crystalline CBD, it's been known to help people to stay asleep. Like just with CBD period, sleep, pain, and anxiety are the 3 most commonly cited benefits of CBD, helping with sleep, pain, and anxiety. Number 1 is sleep, number 2 is pain, number 3 is anxiety. So there you go.
Excellent work, MK, and noted for menstrual cramps and RSO.
Yeah, and good job for figuring that out. That's why I say it's intuitive, so just take it, and you'll pretty much know what to do. We help you out, but it's super intuitive, and you could have a success just like MK did.
Love it. All right, Al, what is our last success story for tonight?
Okay, our last success story is at Cheeseburger Kid 1329. Says, I understand that RSO is used to treat skin cancer, but I use it to control my epilepsy. It's been 4 years since I had a seizure. Yay! I am a gram a day seems to be my sweet spot. I'm more laid back than I like, but the drugs that epileptologists were much, much worse.
So good. So Cheeseburger Kid is noting that RSO, as we know, is mostly known for treating cancer, but he's discovered that it helps his epilepsy. Can you elaborate on this?
Okay, so that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there is that the RSO is only good for treating cancer. The reason he mentions the skin cancer in particular is because Rick Simpson himself, he had a condition, like he first helped himself, and then he helped other people, and the condition that he had was skin cancer. So since he had a form of cancer, then that's what it, that most people just veered towards. But it helps so many other things, and it does have like huge, great success with epilepsy. We have a ton of people over here that have epilepsy that are able to take the high CBD version or the high THC version and not have seizures. Where when they are off of it, even when they take the medications, they'll still seize.
Is a gram a day typical for someone with epilepsy?
So no, it's not actually. Actually, I've seen a lot of people with epilepsy, even that have the grand mal seizures, which are the hardcore ones where you could like bite your tongue off and all kinds of crazy stuff. Um, Even with that, I've seen people with like 100 milligrams a day, which is a very low dose. It's 50 milligrams in the morning, 50 milligrams in the evening to have success, and for the long haul for like years. And like I know one woman, she's been on since like 2016 or 17, and she like wrote this huge long story about how she was able to come off her medications and get her life back, and her husband, her wife back, and her kids, her mother back, kind of a thing, because the drugs made her like a zombie. And yeah, and she was only taking 100 milligrams a day, and it's amazing. And she went off it twice, and both times she seized, and then she went back on, no more seizures.
Wow. Wow. What does he mean by the drugs from the doctor were much worse?
Okay, so just like I mentioned with the other woman, said it made her like a zombie, and they put her on that one medication, and then she said she felt like she was like like on meth or something, and she'd be up late at night cleaning things, and like they were giving her drugs to go to sleep and then for energy. And the husband got mad and said, "You're turning my wife into a drug addict. We're done with you guys." And I have personal experience because way back in the late '90s when I was doing nightclubs, we were running a bunch of nightclubs back to back, and I had an incident where I went to the hospital because I passed out at this diner, and they didn't know what to say what had happened, so they said it was a seizure, even though all my scans and my tests from the brain doctors, the neuro surgeons, and all that, they all came back negative. I had full memory of everything. No scans, showed anything. They have to label you with something, so they labeled me with a seizure, and I had to take the seizure medication to keep my license. And
Jeez.
the stuff made you feel like it made you sleep forever. Like it made me sleep. Like I don't sleep. I have trouble sleeping. I was sleeping like 12, 14 hours a day, and I would wake up tired and like the world was crashing in. Like when you're coming down off of hard drugs or something, and like and you feel like the world's crashing in. That's how I felt all the time. No good parts ever. Just always feeling like that. And I was able to get off of it at some point, but I would have to go in to have tests to make sure that my levels were at a certain point to keep my license, and the hospital would report back to the DMV and all that kind of stuff, the Cedar Sinai. And I would look at the people that were coming in for those tests, because it's a major thing, that happens all the time, and people have to be on this medication. They have to take tests to prove that they have at this certain level, or they get a license taken away. And these people were zombies. They weren't driving anymore. They were getting dropped off by the bus. And I was like, I'm not going to be that. So I was able to get off it by, doing some, you know, shenanigans kind of thing in the background to get doctors to let me send things into the DMV so I get my license back. But yeah, a long-winded way of saying that those drugs are super hardcore. bad for you, and they have crazy bad side effects. And like we say with the RSO, the Rick Simpson Oil, it doesn't have side effects, it only has side benefits. So the person's able to not have seizures, and they get all the other benefits, including, like clarity, mental recall, and then staving away from stress, anxiety, and depression. It's
Right.
super, super awesome. So good job at Cheeseburger Kid.
Excellent job.
Very, very cool. So that's it for the success stories for this evening. And that concludes this episode of Cannabis Friends and 420 Buds. Be sure to leave any questions or comments below and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy this type of content. And reach out to support at myfitlife.net or schedule a call online if you have questions about FECO or RSO, how to take it, or where to get it. I am Al Morenton.
I'm Megan Hall.
And we are the hosts of Cannabis Friends and 420 Buds. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.
Peace.